Welcome back to Mat Time. I'm Daniel Tinch, and joined as always by my good friend Zach Sayre. How you doing tonight, Zach?
I'm doing great, Big Dan. Man, what a weekend! Regional weekend was. Yeah, it was a good one, man.
It's something. I'm dressed up.
You are.
Got the blazer, got the chain wrestling shirt.
In the state tournament.
This is state finals. Like, I'm starting to get in the mood.
You're getting in the mood there.
Yeah, you see all those guys that never ever wear suits, and you can tell they finally suit up for the state finals.
I'm rocking the girls'
state wrestling championships.
Championship T-shirt, courtesy of Mr. Brent Sams. Thank you, sir.
Very nice.
Greatly appreciate that.
I went no beanie, no hat in respect for the blazer.
Yep.
But I didn't think...
Rocking that nice chain shirt, though.
Yeah, I didn't want to go collar this time. I think when we do maybe our previews, I'll get the bow tie out. I'll do something fancier. I don't know. I just know that after this weekend, I'm just a little bit more ready.
Yep.
More ready.
Yep. Speaking of chain, Big Dan, while we're talking about those guys, big shout out to them, doing some great things in the wrestling world. Chain Wrestling, join the chain. Created by athletes for athletes, cultivated for the common, apparel for the everyday grind. Shout out to Chain Wrestling.
Yes, indeed. Doing good stuff there. They've been good to us. Actually, me and Grant exchanged texts today.
Nice.
Yes, just another lovely day in the world of Mat Time and wrestling. So, where do we want to start? Do you want to start with the pill itself? Or do you want to start with the results of the regions? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. I mean,
okay, let's do
whatever
this.
You think, Big Dan.
Let's do this. So, regional results were wild. We had kids miss weight under what we have been told in circumstances.
Yeah.
Circumstances.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to hear.
A lot of hearsay here, but we do know that there has been threats of injunction. Don't know. It's Monday right now. Don't know if anything happened today.
Could take a couple of days for that to go through. Like I said, I don't know all the story, just what I've been told. But either way, you hate that for...
Hate it for a kid, absolutely. Absolutely hate it for a kid to miss weight. We had some what many would dub to be huge upsets. We had kids that were anticipated to place highly, not even weigh in. Like, it was this whole regional weekend took a lot of things that we thought we pretty much had figured out, and then just no. And then a lot of kids from teams like, all right, this kid's going to qualify pretty easily out of that region. Gets sixth, doesn't qualify at all.
That's the wild and beautiful thing about regional weekend.
Yeah. This goes back to
what can happen. Man.
Yeah, it goes back to what I've always said about rankings. I don't care.
Yeah.
A lot of kids that were ranked up there are not going to get to go. Some kids are now like, hey, by the way, I'm probably a top 4 kid, and you don't have me in the top 10.
Allow me to introduce myself.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice to meet you. How you doing? Let's wrestle. And this was scattered. All 4 regions, both classes. Well, technically 3 classes, but both classes.
Both divisions, we should say.
Yeah, it was an exciting weekend. I mean, we're going to get to our, previews and stuff, but there were some kids that really stood out to me as like impressive weekends, really impressive weekends, and we're going to award some wrestlers of the week.
We'll get to our wrestlers of the week tomorrow, or maybe today, depending on when you're listening to this.
Right, Tuesday. But
as far as the team scores go,
nothing was crazy.
I mean, everything went as expected.
Exactly as expected.
Nothing surprising there. I mean, Park South won AAA Region 4, Region 3 in AAA. Woodrow Wilson, Region 2, you had Spring Mills, and Region 1 there in
University.
AAA, you had University, and conversely, AA, you had Point Pleasant taking the title in Region 4, AAA Region 3, Indy, as expected, AAA Region 2, Braxton County, Coach Bean and the Eagles taking care of business there, and in Region 1, Fairmont Senior. So everything was chalk.
Everything.
In the team, and that, like I said, it wasn't close. Everything as expected. I mean, like I said,
none of the regions were super tight, but it is going to set up, and we're going to do a lot more talking about this later. But it is going to set up for, I think, one of the most competitive Saturdays for both divisions
in a long time.
Ah, man. I mean, I'd struggle.
I was thinking today. I was trying to go back and think
when both of them were going to be this tight.
That both were, and I don't know. I'm actually going to have to go back and
we'll
look.
Have to really go back.
I'm going to actually have to go back and look year by year to see. So
yeah, I mean, just looking at the qualifiers, Independence didn't send as many as Point Pleasant and Fairmont, and yet to not talk about them in the team race would be foolish.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be in the mix.
To me, just looking at the 12 and the 11, I know it's not the 12 we anticipated from Fairmont. It's and we thought 12 for Point, but again, the 126 didn't qualify as anticipated. So, I mean, clearly, to me at this point, with the last dual win and having one extra kid, all eyes on Fairmont.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But again, I wouldn't sleep on Indy. But we'll get to all that later.
Yeah.
We'll get to all that.
That'll be to be continued. We'll touch on everything there.
Right, that's the preview show. We're not going to do that.
Shows. That's unfortunately not tonight, folks. Sorry to break your heart there.
No, we're still digging. Listen, the analysis of brackets is going to be legit, and a lot of people I've seen some people talk about which brackets they think's the toughest. I just don't agree so far with what I've read. But regardless, I'm not going to talk about that right now.
Hey, we'll follow up on that later. So
it's later. That's coming.
Yeah, it'll be soon.
Regardless, let's get back to the chalk at hand here. For years and years and years, we've had the pill and anti-pill people for different reasons.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I don't know if people fully understand why I'm such a fan of the pill. I think I've tried my best to be as clear and concise as possible.
Yeah.
Because when you start arguing with me, well, those are the two highest ranked kids, I shut down. And by the way, we talked to Coach Archer. I said 4 or less. It was 2. And then.
Well, it turns out there was an error.
3.
Clerical error, 3. So,
whatever.
Yeah.
I think they should have left that one alone still. Period. But there was 3 total. Okay? Now. How do I word it so nicely? The reason I love the pill is because the human aspect is gone. And up until yesterday, I had yet to find a better alternative. Mm-hmm. Now I'm on board with seating, Zach.
Yeah. Yeah, this falls in line with what we talked about kind of last night, but have you found anything further beyond that?
But I sent you and I posted it on the comments. You see, the comment section alone, by the way, on our posts, just completely proved that you're going to struggle to prove one's better than the other without a head-to-head. Period. With any weight class.
Yeah.
Unless this one beat this one. And you can sit here and you can tell me common opponent all day. Go ahead and argue common opponent. Because I don't like it. How many times have you seen A beat B, B beat C, and C beat A? Million times.
Happens all the time.
Million times. Yeah. So I don't like common opponent.
I'm not a big fan of common opponent.
Head-to-head only. Right? And we didn't do that. And that's fine. I'm not on the committee. It's not my call.
Yeah.
It's their call. But I like the pill because there's not even a discussion. Iowa does it, and who was that? Was that Emory that threw Iowa on us? I think Brian Emory was the one that
mentioned Iowa. I can't remember for sure. I'd have to go back. There's a lot of comments.
Humphreys was there talking, and Emory was there talking, but one of them mentioned Iowa. And you know what I got to thinking, Zach? How does Iowa do it?
Yeah, I like how Iowa does it. So
with a computer, that's how they do it.
It's all...
They input data, and it spits out the seeds.
Yeah.
Based on finite, no arguments, can't twist it this way. He's ranked here, he's ranked there.
Zero human element.
No human element whatsoever. And when I saw that, I actually sent it to the coaches committee and said, if we want to make this better, do that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that would be good, and we'll throw up a graphic here that shows kind of what
their criteria,
that how they do it. I think that would be great. I mean, I myself am a firm believer in seeding the state tournament.
You like seed meetings,
and I do like seed meetings. I like the gamesmanship in the seed meeting. Of course, with this,
and what'd you just say?
The gamesmanship.
Exactly. That's what bothers me about seed meetings.
I agree. So that's why I like,
because you will take a You'll take a
I'll take a lower.
You'll take a 7 instead of a 5 because you think you're better than the 2, but not better than the 1.
Yep. Or I'll slide down to 11.
Right. Exactly. So when people start talking seeding this thing, that's what I picture. And because actually, I think you sat beside me when we coached together, and you watched me game it.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm just as guilty as the next guy.
I've learned from some good ones. I mean, you, George Smith, John Bonecutter, Dave Darst, Jack Collin. You know, I can work a seed meeting, brother. So
yeah.
So like I said, now let me finish what I was saying though.
Go ahead.
So I like the gamesmanship of it, but the state tournament should not be seeded in that direct manner. So that's why your findings really caught my attention. I really like that. I really like the Iowa methodology for seeding their tournament.
Yes, and you're right. They got a bunch of kids. So if we are going to keep pushing this issue of seeding, again, I love this because it takes that magic R word right out of it. It takes it out of it because that's all people kept asking us. Well, we thought they were separating 1 and 2. They did when we had it.
Yeah.
And that's what Coach Archer touched on. We got to have something definitive. And don't forget, watch the shows and go back. Like I talked about Region 2, AAA. Mm-hmm. It's its own ecosystem out there.
Yeah.
Like Spring Mills is the one that you see the most.
Yeah.
They go around.
Yeah.
No one else does. Right? You don't see them coming everywhere. And that's fine, because why do you need to travel when you're right there in Virginia, PA, Eastern Panhandle, Maryland? You're right there.
Yeah, there's a whole.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, you see a lot of.
You're doing the right things. Like, don't sit here and think I'm throwing shade at the Eastern Panhandle, because they're doing pretty much exactly what I would do. Like, am I going to go to southeastern or southwestern West Virginia when I can go into southeastern Pennsylvania?
No.
You go good there. Wrestling, super close.
Yeah, makes sense.
It makes perfect sense. So but I digress.
Now, I will say, all right. So I mean, you can make.
We're already heated.
Yeah, you can make the argument. That maybe this class and that class maybe they should have separated, but by going what was passed with the clear cut 1 and 2. They followed it.
They did exactly what we thought they were going to do.
If there was a third kid in the mix, you leave it as is. You leave it as is.
Left it.
And I agree. I mean, like I said, now me personally, I may have done an extra class or 2 looking at it after the fact.
I'd have done 2 less.
But, like I said, that's just me. But,
and the pill took care of itself.
Yeah.
And this goes to show that this rarely happens. People act like it happens all the time.
Yeah, it's not like it happens in 12 weight classes across 2 divisions.
Ever.
It's a couple of years.
In 28 brackets, it happened initially twice. And then they said a third one.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
But okay.
I'm no math magician, but
you're not.
But those numbers.
But you get it.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often.
You get it,
or it doesn't happen near as often as what, or as vile as people make it out to be. I should say.
So all you people out there, I got my fancy suit on here, my fancy sport coat. You've been begging for seeding. I've been the anti-seed guy for a very, very long time because of human element.
Yeah.
And then, again, I think it was Emory. We'll have to go back and look at the comments. I'm 99% sure it was you. If it is you, shout out to you. That pointed me in the direction of Iowa. So I said, I wonder how they do it. I looked it up. I loved it. I actually emailed them today. So hoping to hear back from them tomorrow to see exactly how they use track wrestling to get that done. We're going to fact check it right now. It was on the AAA brackets. Go to AAA brackets. And it's early in the comments. Scroll up there. There you go.
49 comments
49
total.
comments. There we go.
A lot of back and forth there. Let's go to all comments.
Yeah, it's Emory. He's right there.
Let's see here.
It's in that thread. I was right. Brian Emory. Good job. Thank you. 42 more replies from there.
I don't know why we're going 37.
Yeah, there it is. Iowa, 1,000 kids. Yep. Brian Emory.
Yeah.
You sold me, man. But again, I'm not sold on seeding. I'm sold on no humans.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think that, like I said, because I know how I would be.
So if we're going to do more, there you go.
Yeah, that's the best. That's the best.
And if you throw that graphic up, make sure we'll throw it back up right now when I'm talking about it. Look at number 6, and we'll point to it that doesn't exist. Look at number 6. That's your region champ. 6 is the criteria. 6. Uh-huh. So regionals will be to get there. And then the seeding happens.
Yeah.
So like it's feasible that your entire region gets 16, 15, 14, and 13.
Yeah, which, I mean, hey, if it's going to be seeded, that's how it needs to be done.
Well, someone else said, why don't we seed the regional champs? All right, let's just take 106 in AA, right? Taylor and Purdue in Region 3. If you seed all the regional champs, that means Taylor's actually going to be seeded 5 if you then go to runner-up. So he's going to catch the 4 who he's better than. And then he's going to feed into the 1, though.
You'd have to go to
another modified pill.
A modified seeding pill. A seeded pill, which
right.
It can definitely be done. Don't get me wrong.
Why not just do it?
It's a whole lot of extra work for what you're doing, so you might as well just
do the whole thing.
Do no human element, seed all the way through. Like I said, it can definitely be done, but you can't just do that. And you know, a lot of instances there will be 3 that may indeed be the top 3 or their top 4 or 5 guys. So that really puts a flaw in that as well.
Well, the only thing that really hurts is, and I'll just take our state in particular, then we got to go to a quick break, is specifically freshmen on the Eastern Panhandle. Because we don't see them a lot. There's not a lot of head-to-head, so those freshmen are going to get thrown into the mix and maybe catch a tougher draw than they should. But or they go and say, I'm here.
Cruise through and, stake their claim at the top of the mountain.
That's true. All right. We'll be right back. Well, that's enough, Bills. We'll be right back after a quick break.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
Once again, special thanks to our partners at Par-Mar Stores. Yep. If there's not a Par-Mar store near you, soon there will be.
Yep. Shout out to Par-Mar and all that they do.
Man, I found one. This is crazy. My daughter played in a basketball tournament at Warren Local. On the way to Warren Local, what road is that? You get off going towards Parkersburg, but you take the Beverly exit, take a left, whatever. Little tiny gas station mom and pop store. Par-Mar,
they're everywhere, man. They really
are.
They're absolutely taking over. So,
okay, did you calm down? I've calmed down.
A little calm down. While I'm still thinking and still stewing. Let's give a shout out to our other sponsors: Frontier Furniture, Flooring and Interiors, Master Boaters Detailing, and Jacket Wrestling Club. Big shout out to all of those entities. We wouldn't be able to do the things that we do without them. And more importantly, shout out to them for supporting the wrestlers of West Virginia.
Speaking of that, the wrestling club there, Jackets Wrestling Club, supported us when we did the Girls States, which takes us into, don't forget, folks, we are now just a few weeks away. In 2 weeks, we will extend 28 offers to come and show who's number 1 in the state at the special event at the Mason County Open, the Elite Division, champion versus champion. We've got some matches already booked. Those will be announced. But we got some girls super matches coming.
Yeah, some big,
exciting,
some big time matches. So
champ versus champ.
Be on the lookout for those. So like I said, those will follow very soon.
There should be again
an announcement graphics on Facebook. So be looking out
for
those.
Listen, young men out there, those girls were chomping at the bit to wrestle each other too. Yeah. These weren't even questions weren't even out of our mouths yet, and they're like, yes,
they said yes, yeah.
Zoe said when and where.
Yeah.
And she still got to worry about states this week.
Yeah.
She's still got work to do. Yeah. So best of luck to everybody this week or next weekend. Hopefully the brackets don't change too much. We got some sweet singlets ordered for that.
We did.
It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, there's going to be
Unfortunately, This year we don't have the girls singlets. That's going to come next year. This was actually, we just sort of thought, hey, this would be a great idea if they would agree to it.
Kind of a last minute idea, and it's like, man,
exciting.
Why would we not do this? Because we get to think, it's like, man, we got so many great
Hammers.
Girls wrestlers in the state. We might as well, extend this invitation to them. So
okay. Speaking of singlets, I know you guys have been waiting for a long time. We had a lot of submissions to go through. We had a lot of things.
A ton.
Yeah, a ton.
And a lot of thought into this.
A lot of thought.
We've been going back and forth with each other for
a while.
For weeks.
Yep. So we are going to unveil our favorite singlets. Now, this is 100% personal preference, and you're going to see a very common trend with mine.
You see a common trend with mine as well.
Yeah, you do. Yours is pretty obvious. I'm going to start with some honorable mentions. Okay? For girls, the Shady Springs girls singlet I liked it. It was super simple.
Nice and clean look. Yeah,
yes.
Very nice and clean look.
And that's my theme. It's classic. It's simple. It's collegiate almost. When you see it, you know it. That's what I'm going with all my singlets that I picked in my top 5. I took, and okay, we'll do this and say, I'm sorry, I took no whites. I know. There's a little personal reason for that. Like maybe I was 0-6 in the white championship singlet my senior year. Maybe I was. Maybe I wasn't. But I took no whites. But if I did, there was 3 that were good. There was 3 that were real good. I was really big fan of Ripley's whites, Roan's whites, and Cabell Midland's whites. So those were 3 that I really enjoyed. 4 white singlets. So there are some honorable mentions for me. And you kind of got an idea of what I'm going to give you here in just a second. What do you have in terms of honorable mentions / I know you picked a girl one too. That was really cool because we saw it together.
And this was one of the most original singlets out there as far as the idea and the concept and the design. It's the Buckhannon Upshur girls singlet. It's got the Lady Buccaneer.
Yeah, it's a Lady Buccaneer.
Yeah, so I mean, it looks. It's really cool. Like I said, it's conceptual.
Right.
Nature is awesome. I'm a big.
You also like the George Washington wearing headgear.
I did, yeah, like their logo. I love that. Like I love like little things like that, and you'll see some of that.
You do
here in my list. So I like little things. And another one that I'll tell you that I liked. That's honorable mention would be Bridgeport's gray and white. And I'll tell you what I really like about those singlets. Okay. Like I said, this is an honorable mention. The bottom stripe is it's got like a tomahawk. Like the tomahawk is the bottom stripe.
I'm with
there,
you.
So yeah, that's kind of my.
You're like your honorable mention. Like they were good.
Now I will say, man, like I said, this was a tough decision for me. I mean, there's a lot of good singlets, guys. Like, so if you did make the list, don't feel slighted. I could have easily done a top 20. Like, just put it out right now.
We could have done like best in show. We could have done divisions.
Yeah, but yeah. So like I said, this was a tough decision, but I got it narrowed down.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
It doesn't matter. We can alternate. We can go.
Let's alternate and let's go. And again, no particular order. I'm going to tell you my theme one more time. It is simple. It is classic. It's almost collegiate. But one thing you will see it. My biggest common theme is you see it and you recognize it when you are in Huntington. That's what we're looking for. You're in the stands. You hear some ruckus. You look over. You see a singlet. Like, who's that? You're like, oh, that's BAM.
Don't even have to.
Don't have to look at the coach. Don't have to look at nothing. You see that singlet, you're like, boom. That's who it is. So, I'm going to go ahead and start with the homer pick. I'll get it out of the way. But the Point Pleasant, Oklahoma State inspired Reds. That to me is a classic look. That you see that singlet out there, and on Saturday night you see that singlet, or Saturday during any part of the day, you see the all red out there, and you're like, that is Point Pleasant. That's a good singlet. Super simple, super clean. Big fan of it.
Okay, so conversely, all right. No, I actually did 6 in my list.
Oh,
not to be
outdone by my 5.
Yeah. So my homer pick, which I'll just get it out the way. I went Point Pleasant's blacks.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of the red, white, red base there on the bottom of the singlet. I just like the way that the black and the red look on there. So anyway, that was my homer pick. So now I can give my other pick.
Oh, okay. You're double dipping.
Yeah, I'm double dipping. But then we'll be back on track though. So like I said, I have a whole slew of options here. So we'll start, and like I said, this comes back to I really like little details. I like Wheeling Park's grays.
Park's grays.
The city outline and the bridge. Big fan of that in the gray, and I like the red and the blue contrast there with the singlet. So there's my number one.
Okay, that's your first pick.
My first one, not necessarily number one, but my first pick.
All right, I'm going to go with the red Penn State style Spring Mills.
Okay, I like those.
It is super simple, clean.
Clean, very clean.
And it's got the Spring SMHS across the chest, got the band, clean, crisp. You see Dolan in it a lot, so you think titles when you see it.
Yeah.
I think that's another, and that's
multiple Dolans.
Yeah, that's it's a relatively new school in terms of.
But you know who that is, though.
Exactly. You know exactly who it is. Okay. You know exactly who it is.
So not to be outdone by your Penn State, I one up you with a Penn State of my own.
Oh, okay.
So this is a beautiful singlet. Cameron's.
Okay.
The navy and the gold.
Yeah, I'm with you.
The dragon.
The dragon.
Just,
Okay.
Hard to beat that. A super clean look.
Okay. Then I'll go cleaner.
Okay.
In my opinion. And this'll really make everybody happy. Because I'm going to go with Park Souths. Now listen to me very carefully. They just busted it out this weekend. Hadn't seen it in a while. Just the navy with South across the chest.
That is a clean singlet.
Super simple.
That is a clean singlet.
Yes.
Clean singlet.
You're starting to see the pattern unfold.
I do like their gradients that they've introduced, but those are a little too new for me.
Too busy.
But they're not, like I said, that they didn't unfortunately make my list, but they were close. They were in the mix.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna kind of flip flop colors here on you, Big Dan.
Okay.
The navy with the white. I'm gonna go white with the navy, and I'm gonna go Washington's.
You went with whites, didn't you?
Washington's whites. Usually not a huge fan of white singlets, but those are clean. I really like those. I really like Washington's. Penn State style whites.
I could have gone University's whites back in the day were super crisp, by the way. Back in the day, I don't even know if they still wear those. I doubt it.
I don't know if I've seen a white from them.
Oh, yeah. I'm
starting to be wrong.
Starting to age myself there. So we're going to ease up on that. Okay, this one right here. I mean, this one has to be in my top two. It's one of my all-time favorite singlets.
Okay, let's hear it.
And it is just, because all right, picture it. It's not just the singlet.
Okay.
Which, by the way, is super simple, super crisp. But it's the tube socks. And it's the headgear. It's the super simple Cliff Keens.
I think I know where you're going here.
You should know where I'm going with this. This is our Highlanders. This is Huntington Highs, just the HHS with the tube socks and the yellow headgear. Like, it's a whole thing. You know? When I see that, I just picture... Riggs down 4 with 15 seconds left and hits the lat drop in the middle of the semis and everybody goes insane. You know what I mean? I picture, Arthur winning the tight. Like, that's just that's Allen and Grass and Dempsey. Little Dempsey, not Big Dempsey. I don't think they made one his size.
Shoot.
So there you go, John.
Shoot. Okay, so my next one.
It's a whole look.
My next one, and I thought long and hard about this one, but just something kept bringing me back to this singlet.
They calling you?
Yeah, it's just like, man, it's like this has got to be in your list. I get kind of like Oakland Raider vibes with it. The black and the silver. I really like Tyler Consolidated.
Yeah,
and just got the.
I was like black and stuff. I thought Preston for a second.
Well, Preston has some clean.
They had some clean. Yeah,
and they're whites and they're blacks. So, like I said, guys, this is
Preston did have some clean singlets,
but I just kept getting drawn back to Tyler's. I like that black and then the silver. Just something about it, man. So
you've gone with a little. Like, I've gone like pretty much just like run of the mill mainstream. Like, names you've dug into this. Like, you've pulled out some singlets I wasn't super familiar with.
I put in a lot of research.
You did, man.
And
like, kudos.
A lot of looking. So.
I didn't take that. Like, these are just my favorites. Now, and I'll tell you, this one's my favorite of their styles. And you were convinced it was retired until we saw it.
I hadn't saw it for a while.
We've seen it. It was at Girl States. We saw it. And man, you cannot talk iconic singlets in Huntington without talking about the 14-time state champion Oak Glen. They're all blues, and let's do it right. The all baby blue. Peyton Hall wore it. Like, Rhett Northcraft wore it. Like, you can just start listing.
A lot of big names.
Yeah.
Rocking that singlet.
99% sure Yeah, like all the they've all worn. Up until very recently
like I said,
they stopped.
They even have two iconics. The tricolor.
The tricolor was close,
but I like the all blues.
And here's why I didn't go with the tricolor. That's a very good point. And it's a worthy cause. It's just I don't like it as much.
Yeah,
it's just that simple. It's to me the three colors was too much. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and that makes sense. Like
that's my fifth one. And if you made me rank those. I mean, they each have their own vibe. To me, their own vibe. And I think Spring Mills is building their story with their singlet more than the other four there. But like, you can picture like the sounds of when Oak Glen wears that singlet. You know what I mean? You know what's out. You can picture when Point steps out in the Reds or South walks out in the Navies. Like that's a whole and kids feel that. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, no.
Like those singlets are special.
Like the ones in your list, they see the singlets and it's like, oh man,
right?
Like, it's like, oh, what are we getting into here?
Exactly.
Like,
But the kid that's wearing it feels better than he probably is, or she probably is. They feel better than they are.
That's fair
because they're wearing that color.
Plus 10 to the attributes just because of the just because of the singlet. Yeah.
Right, and I can say, and again, I thought of the white ones, I thought like Roans and Ripley's and Midlands were all very crisp singlets. They were very clean. I'm just not a huge fan of white.
Yeah, that's understandable. Like I said, I'm traditionally not.
But every team's got that singlet. Yeah. Like boys, ladies, we're putting on the blah.
The singlet, yeah.
Right, and when you hear it, you instantly get hype. You're like, I don't lose in that one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dang it, I'm not going to win in this one, coach. Put the whites away.
Yeah, I always, that takes me back to middle school. Our varsity singlets. We had two. We had just the black with a purple chest sweep, and then for the big matches, you rocked the neon purples.
Yeah,
those were sweet. I love those.
Fun facts. When you were coaching with me, we busted those up for the kids one try. Yeah. We had to try them when they let us wear them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right, my last one, Big Dan. Like I said, traditionally not a fan of white singlets, but
you went two whites.
I went with the second white. I actually received this particular singlet from multiple members of the team.
So they love it.
They love it. And I'm like, man, this is a clean singlet. And that would be Woodrow Wilson's white.
Okay.
I like, the maroon trim just kind of pops. It looks nice. The West Virginia on the back with the star. Where Beckley's at, like, good looking singlet.
Hey man,
very good looking singlet.
Again, back in the day, Beckley had an all navy, an all maroon with a B on it.
Yeah, just clean.
That was an awesome singlet. Classic. If someone could give me a picture of that singlet, even better. If you can get me that singlet, that was an awesome singlet. Awesome.
Man.
So there they are.
Yeah.
Long awaited list.
Yeah.
We did it.
And we could have talked. Like I said, there's a lot of good singlets. Not to be, like I said, we put a lot of time and effort into this, and man, there's some good ones.
Oh, there's great ones out there. There's great ones.
I actually finalized my list
tonight,
like right before we came on air.
Yeah, that was a fun trip down memory lane. Where you tried to talk me out of the Oak Glen Blues because you're like, they don't exist.
I hadn't seen them, and
I agree.
No one sent those in.
And Girl States, bam! I was like, there they are. They're right there.
No one sent them in. I was like, why are they not sending these in? They sent in the new ones. They got some ones that got gray and stuff in them. I'm like, man. Like, what happened to the old ones? I was kind of thrown off by that. I was like, where are they at?
But they took their team picture in it.
They did. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I bet you money, 2 weeks from now, we're going to see them. We better. Those are good ones.
Yeah, good list all around there, man. That was fun to do. We'll have to do it again.
Tough.
We'll have to do it again in a couple years.
I'm going to pick the same five. Well, I say they're timeless.
Once we cycle through.
They're timeless.
I'll do a new top five in a couple years. But
I think those are ones. Hey, the Shady's Girl one, though, that one's super clean.
Yeah.
That one can stand the test of time. Yeah. For sure. Oh, all right. We covered a lot.
We did.
We're going to be back really soon, though.
Yeah, really soon.
We got a lot going on the next couple of weeks. We hope you join us for it. Hey, it's time. It's time. It's time to talk wrestling, time to talk states. We'll get in depth with it next time. So until then, I'm David Tinch.
And I'm Zach Sayre. You guys have a good one.
Have a good one, folks.